Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to teach you comparatives and superlatives. Okay, let's get it started. We use comparative forms of adjectives to compare people and things with each other. Notice these spelling patterns. So comparative, so we use adjectives as comparative forms, so they have comparative forms, and we use adjectives to compare two people with other two people, for example, or one people with another one person, and maybe things with things we compare. And while making or writing these comparative adjectives, there are some spelling patterns, and you should be aware of them. Okay, look at this table. Now, here you can see, in this column, you can see number of syllables, here spelling pattern, and here you can see examples. All right, let's go through them one by one. So when there is one syllable adjective, you usually add er or er or r. For example, tall is one syllable adjective, you add r, so taller. Round is one syllable adjective, two, you add er. And large ends with e, that's why you just add r. So an example, my sister is tall, but I am taller. So here you can see comparison. So my sister and I is compared here. All right, next explanation. One syllable ending in short vowel plus consonant. So when one syllable ends with one vowel, one consonant, when you add er, you double the consonant. You double the consonant. For example, so big, here you can see ig, so it's one syllable uh, adjective, and I is a vowel and G is consonant. When you add ER, you double the consonant. So big, bigger. Next one, slim, slimmer. When you add ER, you double M here. And finally, fit, fitter. When you add ER, you double T here. So he is much fitter than he looks. Here you can see, so his look, his appearance is compared. So maybe he looks not fit enough, or you think that he is not fit enough, but when you see him, you can see that he is much fitter than he looks. For example, maybe he looks weak, I mean, but he's fit enough to do some, I don't know, to lift something heavy, blah blah blah. All right, and next rule, two syllables ending in consonant plus y. Okay, sometimes so there are two syllable adjectives and they end in consonant plus y. When you want to make it comparative, you delete y and you make it ier. So for example, pretty. Pretty is two syllable adjective, and when you want to make it comparative, you delete y and you add ier here, you can see. And next one, curly. Curly is also ending is y. You make it curlier if you want to make it comparative. Okay. Example, his hair is curlier than his brother's. So his hair and his brother's is compared here. So his hair is curlier than his brother's, I want to say. And finally, the last rule in this table, two or more syllables. If adjective is made up with two or more syllables, so you add more to make it comparative. For example, overweight, it's two syllable adjective. You should add more before it to make it comparative. More overweight. Next word is elderly. You say more elderly. So you cannot add er to these adjectives because they have two or more than two syllables. All right, for example, her husband is more overweight than she is. So here you can see overweight and you should use more. And so two people are compared here. I hope it's understandable. Next rule, note that some two-syllable adjectives can either add er or use more. So there are some adjectives which can take er, or they can be used more before them. and there is no difference in structure. For example, gray, there is adjective gray, you say grayer, add er, or you can say more gray. You can just add more before gray. Next word, gentle, you can say gentler or more gentle. I hope this slide is understandable. And next slide, we use than when we compare two things directly. For example, they're blonder than their parents. So two people compared with two people. So they have like blonde hair. All of them have blonde hair, like their parents and their children, and they're blonder. And direct comparison is their parents here. So you should use than when you compare something with something before it. So here you can see blonder, adjective, comparative, and after that than, and after that direct comparison, what you are comparing. Next, he's got a wider face than his twin brother. So twins are compared here. So their face, so wider. So one of them has wider face than his twin brother. Next rule. To make a negative comparison, we use less plus adjective plus than. So here you can see less, and before adjective we use less, and then we use than. For example, he is less handsome than his father. Okay, here you can see less handsome. So it's not more handsome, but less handsome. And less is the opposite of more. Next example, she's less overweight than she thinks. So she thinks she is overweight, but she is less overweight than she thinks, the speaker wants to say. And next rule, we use as or just as, so you can drop just here to say things are the same, or not as, not so as, to say things are not the same. For example, they are as tall as each other or just as tall as each other, but Tim's not as sociable as his brother. So here you can see, so their height is the same, their height is the same, but their sociability is not the same. All right, I hope this page is understandable. And next page. So we use modifiers when we want to give more detail about the degree of comparison or difference. So modifiers are, so they are really important. So she is much more talkative than her sister. Here you can see more talkative. Talkative is adjective. More talkative is comparison, just simple comparison. But when you want to modify what you mean, you can use much before comparative adjective. So here you are modifying more talkative by using much before it. Next, they are far older than they look. So they look like 60 maybe, or I don't know, maybe 50 years old, but they are far older. Maybe they should be 70 or 80 years old. That's why far is modifying the comparative older here. All right. Now here are some common modifiers. Here you can see a table, and it shows degree of difference and modifiers and examples. All right. Degree of difference. There are three types. A stronger degree or stronger difference. We use a lot, far, much, so much, and very much modifiers to show the strong difference or stronger difference. For example, she looks a lot happier now than earlier. So here you can see happier, comparative, and a lot. A lot is modifying happier. And it is strong modifier. Next example, He's so much better than he is. So 2 or 3 days ago, he was not feeling, or maybe he had operation. And now, today, he's feeling much better than he was like 2, 3 days ago. So much is modifying better. All right, and now let's talk about smaller difference. To outline smaller difference, you use a bit, a little, slightly before comparative. So they mean small difference. For example, I think they're slightly younger than me. So slightly means not big difference between the ages of them and me. All right, so slightly before younger is used here. And finally, when you want to say there is no difference, you use not any or no. Okay, so you say he is not any older than I had imagined. You haven't seen that man, so you thought maybe you talked only on the telephone, or maybe you exchanged some texts via social media, something like that, maybe emails. And when you met him finally, you said, he's not any older than I had imagined. So you imagined that he was, I don't know, maybe 40 or 50 years old, but he looks like 30, not any older, is used here. I hope it's understandable. Now, next slide. We use superlative forms of adjectives to compare people and things with the rest of their group. Now we are talking about superlative adjectives here. So superlative adjectives show the most, like the highest or the lowest or the best or the worst part of person or thing of a group, in a group of people or in a group of things. It depends on the word. So notice these spelling patterns. So superlative adjectives also have the spelling patterns. They are like comparative adjectives. Let's go through this table. So number of syllables, here you can see spelling pattern here, an example in this column. All right, one syllable adjectives, they take est or st after them, but you should use definite article that before superlative adjective. For example, the adjective is long here, so you want to make it superlative, you say the longest. Nice, the nicest. Here long takes est, but here nice takes st because the ending is e. For example, they're the nicest people I've ever met. So it means I have met a lot of people in my life, but they are the nicest people among people whom I have met so far. All right, next column. One syllable ending in a short vowel plus consonant. So, so here you can see one syllable, and it's big, and the ending is short. It's vowel and consonant. You add est, and you should double the consonant. For example, big, the biggest, fit, the fittest. You double G here, you double T here. All right. For example, I'm not the fittest person in the sports club. So I go to the sports club maybe 2 or 3 times a week, and I don't consider myself the fittest person in that sports club because there are people who are fitter than me. All right, I hope it's understandable. Next one, two syllables ending in consonant plus y. So you change y to iest. So pretty, it was in comparative degree also. So pretty. When you want to make it superlative, you delete y and you add iest, the prettiest. Example, that's the prettiest dress in the shop. So there are several dresses in the shop, and they are, this one is the prettiest one. And the last explanation, two or more syllables. So two or more syllables, don't take est or st. They take most before them. And of course, you should use that. The most intelligent. So intelligent is, it contains more than two syllables. That's why you should use the most before it. This is the most intelligent solution to our problem. So we have come up with different solutions to our problem, but this one is considered to be the most intelligent one. Okay, I hope it's understandable how to make superlative adjectives. Now, some two-syllable adjectives can either add est or use the most. For example, friendly. There is a word friendly. You can say the friendliest, or you can say the most friendly. Both are okay. And there is a word gentle. You can say the gentlest, or you can say the most gentle. Okay. So that's all with this page. And finally, exercises. What is the extra word in each sentence? So there are 6 sentences, and there is one extra word in each sentence, but there is one correct sentence. You shouldn't correct it, or there is no mistake. You should find it. And you can pause the video and you can do this exercise. After that, so I will show you the answers. You can check your answers. Now, once you have finished, you can check these sentences. If you have mistakes, please work on your mistakes. And if you have questions, you can ask me in comment section below. Everybody be safe, take care. See you next time.